So as you know, I've been talking about effectively communicating in sciences, and this will be the third topic in this series on communicating in sciences. In the previous two, we have talked about basics of grammar and writing good emails. Today, we'll focus on cover letters and proposals. Uh, Professor Shubha Tole from National Center for Cell Sciences has recently commented that writing a good letter is, after all, your only means of distinguishing yourself from the hundreds of others who apply with similar qualifications. Notice this. Most of your colleagues who would be applying have similar qualifications. They all have the desire to succeed and aspirations to do good in this field. So what makes your application stands out is how good you write your cover letter. Cover letter is just like an introduction to your application. And that cover letter is usually a short letter. So the better you write it, the more chances that the faculty will go through your applications, because sometimes they have to go through hundreds of applications before they screen 4 or 5 for interviews. So this part is very important. And then after that, I'll also share some tips how to write good summer proposals, which uh, which can be used as the starting point to write your own proposals. So before coming to the cover letters, there are usually two major routes for applying for internships. One is you respond to the direct advertisements, which can be there in newspapers or on the websites of the institutes. These internships can be carried out in university labs, institutes, or even in the industry. So even companies like Biocon provide good internship related opportunities. Second is a direct email to your prospective mentors or the faculty or the PIs. PI means principal investigator. So it is same as the faculty for now. I'll share a screenshot of this application, which was from IIT Chennai. Now, usually when there is an advertisement, they already list out the eligibility conditions, the period of project, when it will start, when it will end, their departments. Sometimes they may give you a stipend or a fellowship as well. Usually it ranges from 4,000 to 10,000, and that will be for maximum 2.5 months. They will require a letter from your institute that you are a genuine student from that institute, and they may also ask for additional recommendation letters from your faculty who have taught you. Now, usually these applications need to be submitted within a fixed time, so they have a deadline sort of thing. So you need to be careful. Now, almost all major institutes of India, right, from IIT, ISS, Indian Institute of Science, and so on, they give out these advertisements. And usually they start in, depending on the institutes, but mostly it starts around November or December. Some institutes come late, it can be around early March. So that is the timeline for that. You can keep on searching for the web pages. Second example, which I'm showing is from Vienna Biocenter Summer School. They also take students. So there are different institutes outside India also. There also, you need to look at the eligibility conditions, and they may also ask for your certificates. So always try to get the original certificates from your institute, scan them and keep it in your computer. Then they may ask for a good knowledge of English. And usually if you have a prior research experience, say you had some in-house project in your college or at some other institute, so you may be given a preference. So this is how usually the applications would look like. Nowadays, almost all the process is online. So be careful, start looking for them early. Coming to the direct mail to the labs or the professors, what they look for is first an early application. Early meaning start as early as possible. So if you have to start your summer training in May, do not wait for April, do not wait for March end. By that time, most of the positions in the labs are gone. So someone is trying. So the best time to apply is as early as possible. Do not apply 1 year in advance, but say I'll say November or December is a good time. So that gives you enough time to interact with the professor. And if in case the professor replies to you, you will have enough time to write a good proposal in alliance with the lab studies and so on. Every lab expects sincerity and willingness to learn the new tasks and skills. They look for a basic knowledge and a consistent performance. However, marks are not the only criteria. Even if you have at least division, it's good enough. What they are looking for is your skills other than your marks in the exam. They look for how much of background homework you have done in terms of the lab profile, the research going on in the lab, whether you have read the publications from the lab or not. And then usually they expect a short proposal. Now, the thing is, as you are UG and PG student, no one expects a 4 or 5 page proposal, what you submit to a grant or a funding agency. They expect a short proposal at the max 1 page. Even when there are advertisements, they will give you a word limit, 250 words to 500 words. In rare cases, 1,000 words. So a proposal needs to be short, but it should summarize what you want to do, how you will like to do it, what are your expectations from this program, and whether you need to present it. Usually, you will have to present it at your uh, own home college, but then how much data can you share? So all those things need to be discussed. Always a previous research experience gives an edge to your application. So go for summer training. Do not waste those 2 3 months. Suppose if your own college's faculty is doing some research, talk to them if they can take you and so on. Apart from this, they may ask for recommendation letters. So recommendation letters are like an official document from the faculty or your previous mentors. So they sort of evaluate you and they write in that letter the good things about you, why you will be a suitable candidate, and what are your additional skills, and so on. One added point, nowadays, many labs also look for programming skills. So I'll suggest to learn some basic programming. I have listed two most commonly used things nowadays, R and Python. The advantage with both of these is that they are free. So you can download it on your computer. There are several free courses to learn these, and I think you can find hundreds of good videos on YouTube as well. So they are easy. They will help in your data analysis, statistics, and everything. And always remember, in science, statistics is very important. It's like the second part of research. It sort of validates your results. So when you get time, try to learn some basic programming. Moving on, what is a cover letter? Cover letter is nothing but an introductory letter, which sort of introduces your applications. And it gives a bit of personal touch to your communications and the documents. It's like if I give you my CV directly. So you do not know why I'm giving you the CV, what are my expectations, and who am I. That CV cannot tell that person about my uh, personal attributes which will help the lab. So your cover letter sort of introduces you. And that is why it's important to write it in such a way that the person finds that you are a bit different from the crowd. And that person should remember you. So if you have sent an application, say in December, December to May is a long time, right? If you have written a good cover letter, it will be there somewhere in the in the background of the faculty that there was a particular student, and there is a chance that if I have vacancy, I may consider that person. So writing cover letter is good. It highlights you, your career till now, and your possible future contribution in the lab. Now the thing is, there is no fixed format. It's just like any other letter in 3 to 4 paragraphs, but you need to base it as per the requirements of the job or advertisement. So if the advertisement is for, say, protein purification, you need to write your letter in such a way that you can highlight your skills related to protein purification. If the advertisement is related to plant tissue culture, so you need to rewrite the cover letter highlighting what you already know about the tissue culture related things, media, what all courses or workshops you had, which gives you information on those things. So in short, it should convey your story in an honest and sincere manner, and your cover letter should help you to stand apart and that you should look good for the job. Now it should be short, error free. Believe me, if there are errors, people lose interest. It should be well edited. So before sending it, take help of your friend, your faculty, and so on. Keep it serious. So do not try to make it funny, and do not use flattery. Flattery meaning uh, do not uh, do not give unsincere praise. Like it should not look like a flattery, right? People can make it out from the words you write. So be honest and be sincere, and it should be good enough. Now, what are the components of a cover letter? Definitely, there will be a subject just like a letter. Then give a brief introduction of yourself and why you are writing this letter in the first paragraph itself. Basically, your first paragraph should be, who are you? Then your second paragraph should be your skills and experiences, which make you a good candidate for that given position, and your major achievements till then. So that is like the why. Why are you suitable? And then third paragraph will be your plans and objectives. So how will you do that work? Finally, thank the person and use a good sign off. Do not forget to attach your proposal or CV. Now, at your level, at the UG and PG level, usually people ask for a letter which has both your, which is a combination of your cover letter as well as proposal. So in those cases, your third paragraph could be your 200 words summary of your proposal. So in that case, you do not need to attach a separate proposal, but you definitely need to attach your CV. And in case they ask for your recommendation letter along with the application, you also need to attach that from your faculty. Usually, recommendation letters are like confidential documents, so they will not ask you to send it. Rather, the faculty or the university will directly contact your referees and ask them for the letter. So do not forget to give their emails or their phone number so that they can be contacted in time. I'm sharing a few samples. Now, those who attended the previous lecture of mine, there I had shared this letter sent to me by a student from IISER Kolkata. Now, this student thought that this letter is enough as a proposal as well, but unfortunately it wasn't. Why I have kept it here is, with a few modifications, this letter can be converted into a good cover letter. So look at this. He has introduced himself or herself very well. He has given the motive of this letter and so on. The person also mentions going through the profile page and everything, and he mentions all the attachment and everything. So what is needed is just a few modifications, and then it will be a good cover letter. And This is one sample of cover letter wherein you need to attach the proposal in the email. So as you can see, the person is introducing himself or herself. So I am dash 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 from this institute in this city. Mention the research interests and your skills and expertise, etc., which is making you an optimum candidate for that position. Then list out your experiences, your achievements, and why that experience or achievement is suitable for the lab. What you need to remember is you want to get the position in the lab so that you learn. But you will not be taken unless the person knows that it is also beneficial to the lab. It should be a two-way communication. So you need to link this part. In the next paragraph, how this fellowship will be important to you, that should come out. And also how uh, this work done by you can be good for the lab. Now, usually for summer fellowships, the faculty do not expect much, but when you will apply for your PhD, then you need to mention how your project will be beneficial to the lab as well, how it will lead to growth of both you and the lab. And then finally mention that you have attached your CV along with the proposal and that you will be willing to give any more detail if and when asked. Finally, thank the person, give your full details so that you can be contacted when it is needed by the lab. If you miss this part, it may be possible that they are not able to contact you. The good thing with emails is that your email ID is saved by default. But it's also a good habit to give your mobile number as well, because sometimes they may want a quick reply and then they can contact you on the phone. So do not forget about the attachments after writing your cover letter. I'm sharing a second cover letter, which is like a cover letter come proposal. Usually when you apply for summer research fellowship from the Indian Academy of Sciences, they give you a limited space in which you need to write everything. So be careful to look at the word limit. So if it is 250, try to finish in less than 250 words. So 230, 240 is not an issue, but it shouldn't be less than 200 also. So try to fit in between 230 to 250 words. And remember, even words like if, and, I count. And in your MS Word, there is an option wherein if you select the particular paragraph, it shows in the lower side about the number of words as well as number of characters. So be careful about that. If you exceed the limit, if you are attaching your documents in mail, that is usually not an issue. But if you are using their online portal for submitting the application, in that case, usually all the words after the limit do not get accepted. So you need to be careful. Let us come to this. So in this cover letter, it has been written like a typical letter addressed to the Indian Academy of Sciences, the address and so on. The candidate has introduced himself or herself and has clearly written in the first line itself that this write-up is in reference to the Summer Research Fellowship Program, whatever year, hosted by the Indian Academy of Sciences. In this regard, I would like to submit an application and write up for the same. Then give your introduction. The thing is, right now at the UG and PG levels, we are nobody in this field. We are like infants, small children. So we are nobody. No one knows us. So we need to give a proper introduction. Same goes when you contact any faculty for any other purpose. So give your introduction, where you study, in which course are you studying, what's the semester or year, and so on. So this person has introduced himself or herself, BTech in Biotech from XYZ University, currently in third year. And the course curriculum includes subjects like molecular biology, microbiology, immunology, biochemistry. Now, All of you have several courses. Do not write all of them. Choose those courses which are aligned with the fellowship or the summer project related application, depending on the topic. So if your project is related to immunology, there is no need to write about entrepreneurship or plant biotech. So I hope you have understood this. Then mention your specific area of interest, and among those you are fascinated by this particular topic, say ZZZ. So now you have very cleverly introduced the topic on which your proposal is. So next, this should be the focus of your proposal in the next paragraph or so. So this person wrote on biofilms. So this person would have written, I am fascinated by biofilms. Now start. Why this topic? This is important. So this person has very well described it as biofilms are now reported to cause these type of infections. They are not only difficult to cure, but they act as a burden on health and resources. So all the possible reasons have been added. Further, what all things does this person already know? That this person has the basic theoretical knowledge about biofilms, the infections, their causative agents, and how the immune system responds to such infections. First part. Now, then the person comes to the next part. During these 2 months, what this person wants to do is, I would like to identify and characterize microbes involved in biofilms such as dash dash dash, whatever the name, its formation on various equipments or surfaces, their composition, their interactions with the host cells, and the role in infections. So this person has listed out all the possible avenues. And then finally, I would like to perform some experimental studies in this regard. Now, what are the experiments? See, if you just stop here, it's of no use. Everyone wants to do those experiments, right? So you need to be specific. The experiments to explore prevention of specific secondary infections by investigating the role of whatever the mechanism is or the therapy is or the treatment is. Now I have removed these words because usually these things are confidential between the candidate and the lab. This is an excerpt from an actual cover letter which was submitted by one of my students, and this student got selected for this summer fellowship. Now finally, look at the next paragraph. What the student expects and how the student will get helped. The internship will be helpful for me to get a scientific training at leading laboratories in India, and which would help me to gain experience, shape my thought into practical approach. And there were some other points which I have removed. What you need to do is give it a personal touch and fill here what you will gain. That personal touch is very important. You cannot just copy from internet or from some other person's template. It shows in your letter whether you're being genuine or not. This is another example, this paragraph. So someone wrote that this will be beneficial in the career. This person also wrote that I would get to interact with scientists and scholars and learn about ABC, XYZ, and so on. And then finally do the ending formalities like your thank you and your attachments and your complete details. So I hope this will help you. So start with who are you, focus of your proposal, why this particular topic, then this important paragraph, how you will proceed, what are your expectations, and finally, in case there is a proposal which is separate from your cover letter, we can come to that. Now, whenever you need to send a detailed proposal, you need to be careful to read the advertisement very carefully about the eligibility conditions. Say if the advertisement says you need to be in the 3rd year, but if you are in the 4th year, there is no point in wasting your time in applying to that. you will definitely not be considered. So rather use that time for those places where you are eligible. Look at the rules, the regulations, other guidelines, word limits, if recommendation letters are needed, and other requirements. Then you need to be sure why you need to write this specific proposal. And writing a proposal is like putting forward a particular experiment to find out something new or unknown. So if you really want to show that your given topic is new, you need to highlight what all work has already been done before that and what works were missing in that. And that loophole or the lacuna is to be filled by your experiment. At the same time, no experiment is perfect. There can be limitations or drawbacks. So you can mention that. It is taken positively. Now, to work on all this, you need to do a good literature survey. Literature survey meaning I got disconnected. Yeah, I hope I'm audible back.
Yes, sir.
Anshu, can you hear me? Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir. We can.
So I was here. Yeah. So literature survey means reading the research papers, books, review papers, because that is where you will get the information on what all has been done till now. Now, you can take help of PubMed, you can take help of Google, you can take help of Google Scholar. These two are very good platforms to help you get most of the papers. Then in one sentence, propose your aim. How do you plan to do the experiments, your objectives, the methodology, and finally the significance of your work. Why that work is important. Say if the work is not important, then why will someone entertain you? So why the work is important for science, for yourself, the lab, society, and so on. And then this is also an important part about the future potentials of the work, how this work can be taken forward to a big project. Usually in summer fellowships or summer internship, it's a short duration project, right? So what you can get is some initial results. So if those results are encouraging, that can be written into a full-fledged major grant or major project. So how that can be converted into that can be written over here. Then finally give a good conclusion. And references are very important for a scientific proposal. Basically, when you introduce a topic and you mention that these works have already been done, that means you came to know about that from a particular research paper, right? So you need to mention that research paper sequence wise. And a particular information which has been taken from a particular research paper needs to be mentioned at the end. So we call this process as citing the research. And this list at the end is called references. So this is an important part. So usually they can give you a format on how to reference. So in references, it will be the title of the paper, the name of the authors, the name of the journal, and the year in which it was published. So moving on, before writing the proposal, you need to do some homework. Start early. As I said, do not start in April or March. Start early. Say December is a good, November and December, they are like good time. Search for lab and the faculty. Look at their ongoing work. Download the publication of the lab. Now, the thing is not all research papers are free. So I'll give you another trick to interact with the scientist. Mail them and say that you want to read this particular paper, but it's not free. So that scientist will definitely share the paper, or the scientist will ask one of his PhD students or other research fellows in the lab to share the paper with you. Now you have got a very good opportunity to interact with the scientist even before applying for the summer internship. And it has conveyed your interest indirectly. Read the papers. If you have any questions, mail them back, ask them, and so on. But before asking them, do your own homework. And if it's possible to understand on your own or with the help of your friends or your faculty, do it. Ask the PI only genuine queries or how this work can be taken forward. So you see, even before you have written your proposal, you you are now seeking, you have taken that space of attention from the PI, which will definitely help you. Literature survey is important, and you need to know your topics of interest. Then you can keep on noting them down, or you can type them in MS Word. It's up to you. Note down the limitations, the scope, then finally define the objectives. So there are two things. One is aim, which is the overall aim of the project. And second will be objectives. So objectives are like the small tasks which you will do to achieve that aim. So you can number it. And for the overall study, make a flowchart of all the steps. As you know, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So this will give the entire summary of your proposal, and the PI or the scientist can get a summary of your work in less than 2 minutes. So it's very useful. Again, use scientific terminologies, use good English, avoid errors, do not use SMS language. Finally, references and citations are important. And the most important thing is it should be written in your own words. There should be no plagiarism. Plagiarism is you can say that since science needs the work to be original, so this also shows that you can understand and write things in your own words. It's not copy paste from somewhere. And believe me, plagiarism can be easily detected. There are software which take less than 5 minutes to tell the amount of plagiarism, and those software also list out the sources from which you have copied those sentences. So do not use it. The moment someone finds plagiarism, it will be automatically rejected. Plus you lose face. People will not trust you again. So be careful. One good idea is to read the paper, then put the paper aside and try to write down whatever you remember in your own words. Then read the paper again and edit if anything is missing. So summary, start early, read about the lab, read their papers, use a scientific method, technical language, no SMS languages, and finally, no plagiarism. So this is all for this class. If you have any questions, I'll definitely address it. In the next class, we'll talk about CV and resume. So with this, I finish today's session.